Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Girls Frontline 2 video. So today's video I'm going to talk about Qiuhua as a whole. So I've had one whole day to test her out and basically give you guys a better idea on whether or not she's worth pulling if you intend to only pull for one copy. So in my previous video I've talked about Qiuhua as a whole. Her V6 is going to be insane, one of the best DPS in the game in a burn team. But what about V0? And also we're going to talk about, her builds, etc, jump into all of those relevant stuff in this particular video. Because I know some of you guys are looking to basically pull her. And of course, we don't know what's coming next or who is coming next, right? There's a very high speculation that it's going to be Nikita. But a lot of players are leaning towards the electric team members. Alright, there's plenty of those in that particular category. So if you're trying to expand upon the other elements, so that's going to be what it is. So let's talk about this particular one first. Alright, we're going to talk about Qiuhua as a whole. Are you guys ready? 50-50. Okay, that sort of surprised me a little bit. So it's okay, we got Litara for now. Welcome Vepli. No, Vepli has been banned. Vepli has been banned, right? Okay. Okay guys, 50-50 guys. Are you guys ready or not? 50! 50! Oh my goodness, carrots! I love carrots. Broccoli, no what is that? Cauliflower? I don't want that one. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Chinese cuisine, alright? Everybody loves Chinese cuisine. Alright, there we go. Qiuhua. There's a lot of jiggle. Might be a little bit too much jiggle, right? You think she's cute, but her boobs is too fake for you. Too fake for you. So you think her boobs is too fake for you? Is that what you're saying? So before we go all and talk about whether the boobs is fake or not, do you know that all of these girls are not girls to begin with? So you can't just say they are fake or not fake. Looks like Booba mousepad. Now let's talk about her weapon first, right? So her exclusive weapon is going to be called a Trailblazer right here. Now there's two things that you gotta pay attention to regarding pulling for her exclusive weapon Trailblazer right here. Number one, this is a shotgun. Alright, shotgun is going to be quite rare in terms of the usability. So if you are pulling for this particular weapon, you're pretty much only going to use it on her, right? So majority of the weapon types out there for most other characters are going to be either assault rifle or SMG, right? Or maybe some of them sniper rifle depending on how it is. Shotgun is just going to be very, very niche. One more thing is also, you narrow it down to the element plus shotgun. You can see this is specific for burn characters, right? You can see burn damage dealt is increased by 10%. Each time burn damage is dealt, burn damage dealt is further increased by 2%. Of course, goes up to 10%. Now, if you are getting this weapon, you have to make sure that you are definitely getting this for Qiuhua, because there's no other burn character with shotgun weapon as of the time. Maybe in the future, but it's hard to say, right? Because it's too niche, it's too specific. I think shotgun and blade characters are quite niche, machine gun as well, right? But that's just going to be what it is, right? So if you guys are pulling for weapon, make sure you guys are thinking carefully before you do that. Also, one thing is just straight up better to get her copies instead of getting the weapon, right? Because as far as I know, the weapon that I'm using right now, the Battle Pass weapon Expeditionary Pigeon, is not too far behind. So highly recommend you guys, if you guys can afford to, the Battle Pass weapon, this is going to be how it is. It's going to offer a tangible benefit as well. Now attachments, obviously, burn boost is going to be her best one. So this is what I have equipped currently. So you want to go for the usual crit rate, crit damage, attack boost, attack, right? So as many of those combination as you can. She doesn't need anything else. She doesn't need health. She doesn't need defense. Nothing in those particular area that is needed, right? So she's a regular scaling of the attack character. Now what about keys? So the keys, this is going to be where it gets very, very interesting. So when it comes to the keys, you have a couple of options. Now I do recommend getting this particular one, right? So this one, at the start of the turn, you are going to apply Scorch Mark to the enemy with the highest HP for 3 turns. Alright, this effect has a cooldown of 2 turns. Very, very good against a boss situation, right? If there's only one enemy, very, very good. If there's plenty of enemies on the map, maybe this one is less useful, but generally this is where she shines. Now Scorch Mark, meaning that at the end of the action, Inflictor deals burn damage equal to 7% of attack to the debuff holder. So we are going to go with that, and of course gain 1 stack when taking burn damage from an enemy. So that's how it is. This is going to be what makes her really strong, and she will be able to stack as much damage as she can. Now she also has one more thing right here. Before launching an active attack, so she also applies overburn to the target. Alright, so this is again, we are going to be able to take fixed damage equal to 10% of the effect applier's attack for the enemy, right? Very useful. Alright, so I do think that this is the two that you definitely need to have for sure. The rest, the third one, I'm currently giving her this one just to increase the convectance index at the beginning of the battle. You can probably go with the barrier. I don't think you need, right? After moving, she gains a quick barrier. Now, do you really need this particular one? Especially in a... If you're talking about in Gunsmoke Frontline, you probably don't really need this. There's no boss that's like going to be so aggressive that you're just gonna like get destroyed. Plus, you're pairing her up with Centaur Risi as well. So in most cases, you have a healer in your team. So that's not going to be as big of a deal. There's also going to be this particular one where she is going to act as a cleanser to remove the buff from the target. Now this one, I don't think is going to be a good role for her, right? Cleansers, ideally, you want to basically give it to someone that's going to move first. In most cases, if you have a Qiuhua in your team, she's going to be the last character to move, right? So in that case, you don't want her to be the cleanser. You want someone else to cleanse the boss's buff at the beginning of the battle, so that you get, like if the boss has like high defense 60% increase, right? You want to remove that as soon as your turn starts. You don't want to wait until like Qiuhua to move before that happens, right? So it's not going to be ideal for her pretty much. So one more is going to be this particular one. Immune to the negative effects of burn tiles and all burn debuffs. At the end of the action, if Qiuhua is on a burn tile, recovers HP equal to 10% of max HP and 2 points of stability. Same deal with the barrier thing, right? So this one is, she doesn't basically produce any of the burn tiles on her own, but if you pair her with Vector, Vector is going to basically do the burn tile and she's right there in the middle. Pretty cool, but again, like she recovers and all, but do you really need this, right? Because like, if you have Vector, you have Qiuhua, you probably have Centaur Risi or Ksenia, just to have one healer on the standby. I don't think you need this one in particular in most Gunsmoke situation. So, in my opinion, this 3 is going to be the one that I recommend giving her. The Scorch Mark one, the Overburn one, and the 3 Convectance Index at the beginning of the battle. Now before that, I also want to mention Centaur Risi. Centaur Risi has obtained her new what is that, neural expansion key all the way at the end, right? So if you guys haven't already claimed this, this is going to be, holy moly, this is insane, right? At the start of the battle and after using ultimate skill, alright, applies hot sobering tea to Centaur Risi for 2 rounds. This is basically going to boost your burn team by a ton. Now what is this hot sobering tea, right? When allied units deal burn damage dealt is increased by 15% and critical damage of burn damage increased by 10%. Huge buffs to the entire burn team. This is going to make Centaur Risi like the best in slot for burn team for a healer. She's gonna destroy Ksenia in just to have this, right? 15% burn damage dealt increase, 10% burn damage, critical damage increase. That's going to be very good. Now the rest of this, it also applies a few more things, like applies perfect defense to allied units. Basically everybody gets immunity to from one basic attack or skill attack. This one again very insane as well in a lot of scenario. I don't know, that's kind of broken, right? So instead of giving everybody a shield like Swami, she gives everybody immunity to one attack. So very cool. When ally units deal burn damage or when Centaur Risi performs support attack, she also gains 1 point of Convectance Index. So this can help her to build up her ultimate even more, to heal the team even more. So make sure you guys activate that, right? If you guys have Centaur Risi, I do have mine at V1, but you can get away with V0. You don't need V1. Now, with all of this out of the way, how strong is Qiuhua at V0? Because everybody keeps talking about V6 and all. Now, should you pull for her, right? If you can only get her up to V0, I'm going to do a comparison in my standard burn team right now. Okay, we're going to try out the fire team right now in the overheat combustion, fire suppression. I got Ami right here. Alright, I'm going to give it a big shot right here and see what is the damage for Qiuhua specifically, right? So as per always, we got Qiuhua going in there. We got Vector. Centaur Risi got her expansion key recently. Very strong. Cheongju and Shakri. Alright, so this is going to be what it is. Now the rotation is always going to be for fire team, it's going to be straightforward, right? Chongju is going to end up using the ultimate skill all the time, alright, because we want to increase our support attack, she's going to be supporting. And then after that you move Vector first, you start things off with Vector in this particular case. You apply the ultimate skill, apply burn to the entire area, and then you go in either with skill 2 or skill 1, it doesn't really matter, right? But that's going to be how it is. So we get the buffs along the way, etc. So this is going to be like a pretty typical rotation, right? Now, and then Centauri C, when will she move, right? Hers, it depends. If you need healing, then she has to move first. It depends on what's the situation when you're fighting the boss, right? If you have the boss applying a bunch of debuffs on your character, and you need to cleanse the buff, then of course she goes first to cleanse everyone's debuff, right? But in most cases, if she doesn't need to do that, then you're just gonna use either her skill 1 or her normal skill, right? In that particular case, just rotate along with that, right? I like Qiuhua's attack animation right there. Pretty cool. And then now we go in with Shakri. So of course Shakri, just keep in mind Shakri's ultimate skill. In this case, it's gonna give us the zoom in, right? Now you can stack multiple of the zoom in right here if you want to, a maximum of 2 stacks. So if you can do that 2 times, just go in with that particular one. So in this case, we can stack 1 more time, right? And then we're gonna go skill 2 afterwards. So Qiuhua is always going to move last in the burn team because you want to stack as many things of the on the enemy as you can, right? Now for Qiuhua, how do we rotate around her skill, right? So ideally, if you guys are not aware, her skill 2 gives her extra command. So she's going to basically leap to the enemy and do this particular skill, right? So you can actually use her skill 2 first, alright, and then try to apply the let me see if I can move her around. Yeah, you can use her skill 2 first and then try to apply the ultimate skill afterwards. So basically she will be able to move twice. So just take advantage of that, right? Maximizing her damage, and then you can apply this thing Scorch Mark on the enemy. So that's going to be the rotation for her. Boom. Okay. So that's going to be like the first turn of instance as per usual. So in turn 2, then your Qiuhua is going to use the skill 1 in that particular case. So you rotate accordingly right there, it's going to be quite simple. So let's show you guys the total damage that we can output with this particular team and what is the rankings of each of these characters, right? Okay, so last one. So let's see if we got this, right? So what is the damage going to be like? I'm kind of curious as well, right? This is a V0 Qiuhua. I did have her equipped with pretty good substats, right? For the attachments and stuff. Boom, bam, bam. Now again, not super accurate of a representation, but hopefully it's gonna be a rough estimate right here. Just want to look at the damage stats, right? Let's have a look at this. This because we're not fighting a boss, we are fighting in this case a target dummy. And as you can see, a V0, okay? Qiuhua is going to do a little bit less than a V6 Shakri. Now to be fair, my Shakri do have a relatively good attachments. Alright, I will show you guys a little bit and then you guys can compare and see it for yourself. But right now you can see my Chongju is 35.2%, Shakri is 28.02%, Qiuhua is 19.41%, as you can see right there. Now again, I don't have the best keys on all of them, right? The keys is going to be the differentiating factor. I guess the gears you can still like, because like they all have different weapon, right? Now one more thing also, I don't have the exclusive weapon on my Qiuhua. I'm currently using the Expeditionary Pigeon, I think that's what it's called. I do have pretty good attachments though, to be fair, right? So this one is attack, crit rate, crit damage, attack boost, pretty good, right? It's not max, but all of these I would say for the burn boost category, alright? Attack, crit rate, and attack boost. But even then, Shakri still does a little bit more, right? So again, I can show you guys. So I gave her this one that gives a Scorch Mark, alright? So again, this is going to be for that particular one, and 3 points of Convectance Index. That one could probably be swapped out a little bit, right? But that's going to be what it is. Now as for Shakri, I think this is going to be the biggest point of comparison. Now my Chongju is going to be a V4. Okay, I haven't unlocked the V5 yet. My Chongju is going to be a V4. So whatever that you guys saw, I am comparing it with a V4. Alright, I should probably just V5 her and you know, get higher damage. But just to let you guys know of a little bit of a comparison right there, right? My Vector is going to be V1. She does do more than Vector. But let's compare to Shakri. I am using Guano on Shakri. Alright, in terms of attachments, as you can see, also quite perfect in terms of gears, burn boost. This one has health right there, but still it is a burn boost. This one have health boost as well. So Shakri is still going to be stronger in that particular case. And of course Shakri is V6, and this is going to be in this particular case my Shakri's what is this? Shakri's keys, right? I would say keys wise they are quite the same, right? They are quite the same. So Shakri is going to definitely do more damage if we are comparing a V6 Shakri versus a V0 Qiuhua in this particular case. You know, take that info with what you will. Some people are going to think that that's not worth it to pull for a character that does less than Shakri. For me, I think it's fine, right? So in a Gunsmoke situation, you're probably going to end up borrowing your V6 Qiuhua anyway. So that's going to be what it is. So yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. I hope you guys have an idea of how strong a V0 Qiuhua is, right? Because everybody is constantly talking about, okay, if you don't have V6, you shouldn't pull for her. But at least for me, I think she has one of the best dormitory in terms of, look at this, right? Look at this. We got the costume, and my goodness, the costume right here, like, this is hashtag worth it in my opinion, right? But again, to each their own. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, as per usual, subscribe if you guys have already. Give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.